All right, Brother Brooks, we're excited for you to go on record now with the 35 stories on Tim Kidwell that you have written down.
I've got
Let's
them
do it.
right here. Well, the only one I'm going to share, because I might be liable in the others, but this one he's accountable for. Okay, this is on him. At our wedding, Tim is the next brother in line age-wise in Laura's family. And so after the wedding, Laura and I are going to go change into our travel clothes to go on our honeymoon. And Tim had seen where I hung those clothes back in the men's dressing room at the front of the church building by the baptistry. And so I go back there to get out of my tuxedo and put on my travel clothes. And Tim had gone back there with a needle and thread and sewn the legs of my pants together so that I couldn't put my legs through them. So luckily, I grew up in the country and I had a pocket knife with me, and so I was able to remedy the situation pretty quickly. But it's just kind of, I've always remembered that about him.
It's pretty good. You got to be careful where you set your pants down, right?
That's true. Right. Don't tell Tim anything.
Now, the holiday time, if you're around him, one of these years, you need to super glue them. That way there'll be no trace, and just find out his favorite pair of pants and do that to them. And then say, what goes around comes around. Don't do that, but I would love it if you did. That would make me laugh.
Well, yeah, this Thanksgiving will be, whenever we see him again, it'd be at least 49 years since that happened. So,
man, he won't see it coming.
Yeah.
You talk about a slow burn.
Enough time has passed.
Yeah, slow burn there. You've been plotting your revenge. No, that's great, though. That is a pretty good prank. I mean, that
is good.
How long did it take you to realize they were sewn?
No, like 10 seconds.
Okay, good. I was going to say, I'd hate for you to be like, what is happening?
I could see the threads.
Okay, good. Did he use multicolored thread?
He didn't do it good. He just,
not
quick
right,
job.
Right,
yeah.
But it was memorable, though.
No doubt.
The first thing I remember, as far as now it's funny event, when I was a young preacher, my first nursing home devotional. We lived in Lobelville, Tennessee. And I was trying to think of something positive to say to these folks in the nursing home. And so I did a lesson on joy in Christ. And I said, my final point was, you can be happy even in a place like this. And then I thought about how that sounded. I saw some people from church, kind of their eyes got big. And then and before I could say anything else, there's one of the residents, older fella standing in the doorway. He said, "You don't live here." So I learned quite a lot right there about being careful how you choose your words.
Even in a place like this.
Even in a place like this. I meant it well.
I meant it.
I have an issue. I'll tell on myself just real quick, and I'll let you get back to your list. I have an issue, going to the nursing home. I don't mind going to the nursing home, but whenever I talk about the nursing home, almost 90% of the time, I will say funeral home.
Oh.
And it just, I don't, it's something in my mind. And I don't know why. I don't know if I joked around too much at some point and it's coming back on me, but I don't know how many times I have made comments to, like, doing announcements before or something like that, and just so-and-so funeral home or whatever, and everybody's like, I mean, nursing home, you can't get back from that, I don't.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they took it well.
Yeah. They know me. They just excuse it. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's just Wayne again.
Dad one time, first year he was at South Haven, I think he got up and announced that Brother so-and-so's mother, we'd like to extend our sympathy. She passed away. He'd had a member call and tell him, Brother so-and-so's mother passed, and it's really sad. We're waiting on arrangements. And Dad, not knowing any better, said okay. And so he got up that night and he announced it. And he said it was weird. Everybody was looking at him kind of funny. And the brother came up to him afterward and said, my mother passed years ago. The lady who had called Dad was suffering from some dementia issues, and Dad did not know. And so the next time she called with something, he said, I checked before I announced it. You know, I did not just say it anymore. So, yeah, sometimes it gets the better of you.
Well, that fits real well with the thing I remember most from Lake City, Florida. I was doing Wednesday night announcements. And at that time, we were encouraging our members to participate in Memory Walk. And so I got up Wednesday night and I said, and everybody remember the Memory Walk this Saturday morning. That's for, what's that for?
Yes.
And everybody just cracked up because I could not remember Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And so they still remember that event at Lake City. There, talking about when I was younger self, we hadn't been married very long. Laura and I, the first place we lived was at Freed Hardeman. We lived in a rental house. Kelly Doyle had rent houses. It was a duplex. And I got up one morning to eat my cereal. I always have a bowl of cereal for breakfast. And I poured out my frosted mini wheats. And I told Laura, I said, we've got mice. The frosting has been chewed off of all of these frosted mini wheats. And she just kind of looked at me and said, oh, really? She had done it. And I thought, okay. So, yeah.
We have been waiting on a good Laura story. So.
Yes.
Yeah, well, there's more, but that's a good take off. Go ahead. Anything you'd like to share?
Well, I'll share something. She has been hounding for a ping pong match against my dad. I mean, she is...
Oh, yeah.
She loves ping pong.
She's fanatical, yeah.
And she is a trash talker. Like, we were there for the Jacksonville lectureship a couple years ago now, and she was back there. I don't even think she was winning. And she was still going, yeah, watch this. Just trying to tell someone what's what. And I got so much joy out of that because she was just trash talking the whole time. I'm about to beat you. You're not going to win. And then got started. I think she was playing Brother Richie.
Yeah.
And
she won 1 out of 3.
Yes.
With Keith.
And he won the series, but she'd won that one game. You would have thought she'd just won the national championship. She was celebrating. We stayed to watch all of those games, too. It was enjoyable.
Yeah. She loses very, very, very little.
Yeah.
She's the winner. It's in her nature. Kibbles are competitive people.
Yeah.
Have to be when there's 6 kids in the family, you know.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I remember this is not something she did. When we were moved to Sansom Avenue in Gadsden, 1988, her birthday's in January. We moved January 1st, and her birthday's January, in the 3rd week of January, and one of the sisters brought a cake over. And we had no idea about local pranks, and certainly not from a Christian. And the woman that brought this cake, she's an outstanding Christian woman. She wouldn't harm anyone. She wouldn't say a bad thing about anybody. But she brought this 2-layer cake over, and when we cut into it, we noticed it was kind of dry. Well, she had made a cornbread cake as a prank. You know, 2 layers of cornbread and you put icing on it. And Laura's dad, he took a bite of it. He said, I believe this would be better with a bowl of beans. And then we found out, and when Sister Doris found out that we didn't know it was a prank, it broke her heart. You know, she was hoping we would laugh about it, and we were just kind of not going to say anything, you know. And she finally came up and asked about that, and he said, well, it was a lot like cornbread. And she said, it was cornbread. But some years later, one of the elders at the Sansom Avenue congregation had the same birthday as I do. So they would do birthday celebration for Bill Long and Brooks Boyd. And there's this nice cake, and Laura's in line next to Brother Bill Long. I've already gone through and gotten my plate full. And she's just acting up, and she said, oh, look at this yummy cake, yum, 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 yum. And the chewing gum in her mouth fell into the cake. And so she, like a good Christian woman, she cut that piece out and put it on her plate. But then she went around and showed the other women in the congregation, look what I found in the birthday cake. So, well, she's a cut up at heart.
Did she get a free meal that night?
Yeah. Sure enough. I told her sometime after we had married, I said, my life sure would be dull if I'd married one of them other gals. Glad I married you. Yeah. She was there. We went on a mission trip to La Chorrera, Panama. And I had already been to the jungle and done a mission campaign down there with Jack Farber. And so the next year I'm excited. I said, we're going to go back to Panama. And we went to La Chorrera. It's a fairly large city. And Brother Alan Lopez was the local preacher. But I'd told people, don't drink the water, okay? And don't eat things where the meat's been ground or whatever. You know, if it's fried, that's fine. Just be careful. You don't want to get a bug. And so don't drink the water. We have bottled water. Well, Sunday night, it's like 100 degrees. And there's a fan blowing over me, but I'm just pouring sweat. And the brother Lopez could tell I'm getting a little dry. And so he brings me this glass of ice cold water. And I mean, you could see the condensation on the outside of it. And I take that glass and I start to turn it up, and as I swallow the first big gulp of water, I'd see over the glass all the eyes of my brethren from the United States. They're going, they were terrified. Luckily, nothing happened. Panama's pretty well civilized as far as water treatment goes, and so we had no problem. But just that thought for that moment, all those people thought that we were going to be having a sick preacher for the rest of the week.
Wow.
It worked out. We're thankful. God is good. So those are some of the things that I've humiliated myself enough already. I don't want to share too much more.
Oh no, I've got something I'll say just because it has to do with my son. We go to the Show Me State lectures and we enjoy that very much, getting to see all of you all as well. But Brother Tim is a character. I mean, he told us one year, all of us at the assembly, if you leave, I'll slash your tires.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't mess around, man. He's saying, we're this close to breaking this record, and if you leave, I will slash your tires all week long. And so Adam, we got back to the cottage that we were staying in with my mom and dad that night, and Adam loves to pretend to talk like Tim Kidwell. And so we're just sitting there, and Adam goes, I'll slash your tires, just over and over again. And I'm just sitting there going, goodness, son. And he just, all week long, and I wanted to say, thank you, Brother Kidwell, for teaching my son the phrase, slash your tires. That will surely not come back to bite me at all and hurt in one bit.
What kind of example is that?
I know, right? And a gospel preacher and an elder. What man? But we love the Kidwell family, and you and Laura, of course, are an extension of that family. And so a lot of great memories have come from the McBrayer, Kidwell, McCormick, Boyd, all the goodness that comes with that. We enjoy getting together and getting to spend some time with you all, and we're thankful you took some time to be with us today. Now, you've not been here before for this, so it's a standard practice. I just have to make sure you're aware before you hear it and think I'm just being mean. You did not have to be here. You came on your own. We're thankful for that. You're honored guest. He had to be here.
Oh, no.
And so he can kick rocks. That's we say that I say that every episode. No, Wayne and I, we have a good time. We joke around a lot together. We're thankful. The Bible tells us there's a time to laugh, and there's so many funny things that happen. And I'm thankful. We hear people a lot of times tell us, we listen to this while we're driving, to a road trip. We stop and listen to that, and I'm thankful because I remember it's hard to find good, clean Christian comedy today.
Right.
And who better to tell some good, clean Christian comedy, comedic stories than the preachers that lived through them. And there's some stuff that happens that to this day, there's a few of our episodes I'll go back and listen to with my family because Adam, my son, wants to listen to them. And I lived through them. I was there when they were recorded, and I still laugh like it is the first time I'm hearing it. And so, Brother Brooks, thank you for coming and being with us. We're grateful for you to take some time and do that with us because it's a busy week here at PTP, and I know that. So, next week we're not going to have a traditional episode of Did That Really Happen with myself and Wayne. We've got some other episodes that have been recorded already that we're going to be releasing as a specialty there that don't have me and Wayne doing it together, but they're going to be released in just 2 weeks' time. So, Brother Brooks, thank you. You have anything else you want to say before we close?
Well, you triggered something else, and it's also, self-deprecation here.
Sure.
Since you mentioned the the Show Me State Lectures, several years ago, the motel that they put the preachers in initially was next to kind of a historic park area, and there are walking trails that you can go out to the old doctor's old house place, and you can go down to the river. Well, I like to get out and walk early morning, and I didn't bring any travel pants, other than the ones I wore, so I thought, well, I'll just wear my pajama pants, and nobody's going to see me, early morning, not anybody else out there, not anybody I know. Well, I get about halfway down the trail, and there's Terrence Brownlow Dindy. And we had conversation. He had never been. That was his first year, and so I was kind of showing him where things were and some of the sights to see on the trail and all. And he gets up to preach that afternoon, and he says, "You have to be careful when you go out into the world. You never know who you're going to encounter. You have to be on your toes. You have to be a Christian at all times." And he said, for example, I was out walking on the trail next to the motel today, and I saw Brother Brooks Boyd, and I think he was wearing his pajama pants. And so, no offense to any company, but I told him when I got up to speak after that, which thankfully I did have that occasion, I said, those were not pajama pants. Those were Walmart shopping pants.
There is a difference, right?
That is true. Right. You see them in Walmart, unfortunately, all the time.
So that's the last one. Thank you for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure.
You, yes, thank you.
Love and appreciate what you guys are doing.
Oh, thank you very much. And Lord willing, this won't be the last time we have you on here. We'll be looking forward to the next time. Until then, y'all take care.